What's up, guys? We got a few people on TikTok, Facebook. Thank you guys for showing up. Seriously, I appreciate it. It's the first of hopefully many masterminds and networking events that we want to host here. Plan on doing it every month. Obviously, when it gets cold, we'll be going inside. But the idea is to share information on how businesses can make more money, do more, get better technology. It's all about information, right? Like, I wouldn't have made it 8 years in business if it wasn't for the information that I got from so many people that have done it before me, right? One being Sean, right? So you guys can't see Sean yet, but if you come over this way, Sean, we've been working together for a few years now. And the craziest thing is, today's the first time we're actually meeting in person. He is the founder and CEO of Project Blue, which is a company that's doing amazing things for businesses, small and large, all over the country. He created a program that uses different tax codes to really benefit businesses and helps small to medium-sized businesses play the same game that companies like Amazon play, right? That allows them to make billions of dollars and get a tax refund and not pay a ton of taxes, right?
Yeah, most people don't realize that as individuals, we spend more money on Amazon some years than Amazon pays tax.
It's insane. I know my wife has a new Amazon package. Sometimes I have my moments, but I think we can all relate. But the thing is, Amazon plays the game so well. They just came out with this big, beautiful tax bill. I think it's raised a lot of questions, but I think it's also made people realize that there's a lot of things out there that most people didn't even know about. Like, when you look at the big, beautiful tax bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not a whole bunch of new things. They've just kind of expanded on a lot of things that were already there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So just to touch on a few points first, thank you for putting this together.
Yeah.
I think the in-person networking and masterminds is different than virtual, and
100%.
we spend most of our time on Zoom. We've
Yeah.
been on 100 Zooms together now
Right.
in person, so this is good. It's different when you're in person. You can actually form relationships with people.
100%.
But to speak to the way that the big accounting firms support Fortune 500 companies, there's nobody to support smaller businesses in that way outside of us. Like, we designed a model which allows the average small business to think and act in the same way that a Fortune 500 company would.
Right.
Because the same incentives that are available to them are available to us.
Yep.
But we just don't have anybody to teach us how to get it.
100%.
Now, the distribution might
quick,
be smaller.
Those large companies, they don't just have the information. They're paying consulting firms millions of dollars a year.
I would say that they pay millions to save billions.
Yes.
And for them, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Right? We got to think, like, remember when COVID first shut down all of the businesses, there was the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program.
Yeah.
Well, when the PPP was distributed, it disappeared by the billions and trillions in the first round. Small businesses didn't get any.
Right.
The companies that got the money on the first round
were right away.
With a huge, and listen, those guys didn't need the money. Their executive bonuses could have covered the payroll deficit.
100%.
But they had people that knew how to get the money and qualified for the money. So that was the reason they then had to push through employee retention credit. So the next round with PRC,
100%.
and we've been doing what we do for like a decade. But prior to COVID, nobody wanted to talk to a perfect stranger about your relationship with the IRS.
Yep.
But then these employee retention credits came, and there's 1,000 vendors in the puppy mill telling everybody, hey, you got this money, let us help you get it.
Right.
Now, people are a little bit more open-minded to the fact that there is money for businesses. You just got to know somebody who can help you get it.
Yep, exactly. And that's what I try to explain to a lot of people is, like, business owners don't realize, like, this money is yours. Like, it's been there this whole time. It's been there for a long time. A lot of these different programs have been around for many years. You just don't know about it.
You've been overpaying in taxes as long as you've been in business.
100%. 100%. And that's most businesses, right? Like, on average, how many new programs, when we talk to, say, a small, medium-sized business, how many programs besides just PH do you think we help the average small business add on that they're not taking advantage of?
Average findings when a company works with us is about $200,000 that they've overpaid in taxes or they're missing out on incentives
per year.
Exactly. When they work with us, we find them $200K. Now, sometimes that $200K is they've overpaid in one way for the last 3 years, which would go back 3 years in arrears. But there's like research and development tax credits But, workers' comp, WOTC, utility cost reduction, the payroll tax incentive, there are so many different ways that they're just not leveraging the systems that are available to them.
Right.
So 200K. Last week, the biggest case we did was $1.7 million to put back in the pocket of a business owner because this guy had 2 locations.
$1.7 million a year?
This year, back in his pocket. It's not 1.7 million a year. It's
Right.
just collectively through these different programs.
Yeah.
That's how much it's worth. We reduced his expenses by about 90K per year moving forward.
Wow.
So that 90K on.
So you got him 1.7
cash collected within 2025. That money will be in the bank.
Wow. And then another almost $100,000
90K
every year.
Yep.
Wow.
And that number grows as his employer roster. The more employees he hires, the more money that it's going to be worth.
Right. Now, for a business to really take advantage of programs like this, do they have to have hundreds of employees?
No. No, the longer you've been in business, the more you paid in taxes, the more employees you have, right? That's going to be relative to the money that we can find you. But for the employee payroll tax incentive, we need 15 full-time W-2s.
Right.
So they work 30 hours or more, they're W-2, 1099. It's worth $600 per employee per year. And it'll also fund some ancillary benefits. So you get to enhance your compensation package at the same time as increase your employee take-home pay because we're reducing their tax liability. And when we reduce their tax liability, the employer saves money for employees. So they get to save money, add benefits, and we do all of the work for them. So even if they only have 15 employees and they don't qualify for anything else, we're still going to put 20K back in their pocket.
Right. So it's not just benefiting the business owner or the business, but it's also benefiting the employees as well.
Right.
So,
and think about like the average small business, they only have 15 employees. They're still working in the business. They're grinding. Maybe they're going to pull out 6 figures, right? $90,000 to $100,000,
most don't.
Most don't. Right. So if we were to increase their take-home pay by $20,000, $50,000, can be a material change in their life and their business. It's a big deal.
100%. 100%. Now, what about those smaller companies, right? Are there things that these smaller companies that don't have the 15 employees yet can be doing now to prepare and make sure that when they do get to that point, that they're not overpaying in taxes? Like, is there anything that they can be doing right now to prepare to get to that level?
I would just say I think a lot of people, when they're trying to grow, they're going to keep their employees part-time. They're not going to offer benefits. They're going to hire friends and family. They're not really going to structure themselves in a way they're like take a gym, for example.
Yeah.
Gym is going to leverage 1099, contract labor, personal trainers, keep their hours low, pay them commission. When if they were to structure it in the right way and incentivize those employees, they pay payroll taxes, they get all of the write-offs for that, they retain their employees, they have higher quality work. Like they're really creating all of the problems for themselves that it's going to take them longer to scale because they're cutting corners when it comes to the way that they structure their business. Quite frankly, the more money you pay in taxes, the more benefits you provide, the more you pay, the more incentives you have.
Right. So in the long run, it makes more sense to go W-2 and to pay them on a rather than a 1099 because of the benefits that you're getting from the tax credits on the backside.
Correct. On a case-by-case basis, I can't say that for everybody, but I know like a gym is a really good example.
Right.
Like these people struggle, and how do gym owners begin? They're a personal trainer working for somebody else. That guy's a jerk. Screw that guy. I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to take my clients. I'm going to go rent the space. Right. And what happens is they put themselves in a position where they're working more hours for themselves, making less money than they would working for somebody else because they think cutting corners and pinching pennies is the way, but you don't buy loyalty. You get what you pay for when it comes to staffing. Right. They're not really marketing. So, there's the incentives are designed. They're not tax loopholes, right? Like people always describe it as like a scam or a scheme or a loophole. They're not loopholes, they're laws. They're codified by the IRS. They are designed to stimulate business, to hire people, to create jobs, to generate revenue, which everybody pays taxes on. So they are there to benefit you so that you can succeed doing what you're doing, generating revenue and creating jobs.
Now, like we all know, like the government isn't doing this or the IRS isn't doing this out of the goodness of their heart, right? What is their benefit to providing these different tax credits and tax breaks that, and these tax incentive programs? Because from my understanding, they're actually offering it because it's saving them money as well.
Well, so like the employee wellness tax incentive is designed to improve public health. Public health is the most expensive line item in our budget, right? Like I can kind of geek out about this. You get to
Really?
say type 2 diabetes is one of the most common
Yeah.
preventable and reversible lifestyle diseases in this country. A third of our population, right, currently diagnosed type 2 diabetic. If you get diagnosed type 2 diabetic, the doctor's just going to put you on meds and keep you sick.
Right.
We got a wellness practitioner that could reverse that in 30 days with a little fitness and nutrition.
Wow.
So why does the doctor put you on meds? Because the healthcare system, it's not really healthcare, it's sick care, and it generates revenue, right? So healing it and preventing it is a lot more cost effective for the government who pays for public health, right? But for the health insurance companies, it's this machine, right, to keep people generating revenue for the machine, keep people confused about their health, keep people sick. Our food, like we can just go off on a tangent on this.
Right, we can talk about this for hours.
So why is this wellness incentive in place? It's designed to improve public health, therefore reducing the cost of public health, and reduce outpatient copay and healthcare spend. We want to stop feeding money into that machine that the government doesn't benefit from, and we want to stop consistently keeping people sick and keeping people on medication because it's expensive. Like if you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, the average cost for your care is $600K. If a third of our population is diagnosed with this preventable, reversible lifestyle disease, that's a $6 trillion problem. So this wellness incentive encourage your employees to take better care of themselves and go to the doctor less.
Right. Couple grand a year versus a $6 trillion bill.
It's a lot easier to leverage a tax incentive than for the government to create a government wellness initiative, which is going to cost billions, right?
Right.
So yeah, there's and again, every one of these, like research and development, workers' comp, workers' opportunity tax credits, these are all systems that are designed to help businesses reduce their expenses, increase their employment, increase the revenue that they generate. They want us to be able to stay in business, but most people don't have the wherewithal to learn these things,
right?
And so they're not taking advantage of them. So the money just gathers in this bucket,
right?
And if you don't take it, then
100%.
But they're not going to take that money and spend it on marketing to educate you.
Correct.
That the money is there for you.
Right.
So they kind of leave it up to us to figure this stuff out.
100%. Now, like, for those that are listening online and that are here, it sounds like a lot of work, right? So, like, I got to do all this stuff. I got to get these tax credits. I got to get these benefits and this wellness, and my employees got to be healthier. And they don't have to go pay a consulting firm millions of dollars a year to be able to take advantage of these types of programs, right? They could come to someone like us.
Again, for most people, if they were to work with another vendor, there are setup fees, there are admin fees, they have to pay to do the work, and typically they pay in advance. A lot of times, the consultant will do the audit and provide you the data, and then you got to go do the work to get the money.
Right.
So for us, we designed our system. It's no cost out of pocket for any of the systems that we implement.
Okay.
We also provide full indemnification, full harmless, and audit protection. So anybody that works with us, they work with us. There's no risk. We're playing around with your taxes. We're not folding your 941 tax origami here. Like these are legitimate incentives.
Yeah.
We know how to secure them. So we secure them for you, and then you pay us out of what we got. So you don't pay in advance. You don't pay out of pocket. Either the incentive pays us our fees to implement, or you share a piece of the money that we found you after the fact.
I got you. So they're not paying a set price or an upfront fee or anything like that.
No.
We're incentivized by the amount of money that we find them and get them.
No cost out of pocket. They share a small piece with us after the fact. Who can say no to that?
Right. It's a no-brainer. So why?
I mean, you might be surprised how hard people make it to give them back.
100%, because you got that thing that it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true. My response is always, well, I get that, but Amazon literally makes billions and pays no taxes. So
how is that possible?
By programs just like that.
And again, people will call them loopholes, but they're not loopholes. They're laws. They're designed to your benefit. You just gotta kind of get out of your own way. And just talk to us. All you gotta do is book an appointment, and we'll have a conversation and explain the way it works. It's a rather simple but not easy process. The not easy part is that most people get in their own way.
Yeah, 100%. Now, the whole process so say a company has 15 employees. They're like, look, I'm sick of paying all this money in taxes. I want happier, healthier employees. And it costs me nothing out of pocket. I'm going to actually make money. The process is very simple. They just send over a payroll report, or how does that work?
Just hop on a call with us. We'll explain what they need to do. We'll walk them through the process. We do the work for them, so
Right.
we'll help them to collect the data. It's as simple as they pull a payroll report from last month and share the data.
And how much time is it going to take them or their employees
to implement all together? So it's a couple hours over the next couple of weeks. You see a profit on your next payroll. Your employees have the benefit,
and then you guys take care of everything year after year, and they just
all of the admin, setup, education, enrollment, customer support, service of the employees. It's all done for them. So again, we provide a done for you system, no cost out of pocket. We get paid from the money that we find.
Right. So anybody that thinks that doesn't make sense probably won't be in business for long. That's just crazy. Sean, I really appreciate you coming out, dude. It's great to finally meet you.
Appreciate you. Good idea.
Absolutely. Now, for those out there that maybe aren't at that level yet, right? You don't have 15 employees. You maybe you don't have any employees yet, right? You're like, well, how do I get to that level, right? The fact is, you've got to get there eventually, right? You cannot work 24/7 in your business and be the only employee, right? You can, but you're not going to scale. You're not going to grow. You're not going to get where you want to go, right? Everybody starts a business for a certain reason, right? Freedom. It's all about freedom. Like, it could be for money, but it's still financial freedom, right? You want to get to a point where you don't have to work 24/7 and you can do the things that you want to do in your life, okay? So there's a few different ways that you can get to that place faster. One is information. Learn the right information from the right people, okay? ChatGPT will tell you who to listen to and who not to listen to, right? It's really not that difficult. Now, beyond that, there's things like funding, okay? Don't just take funding from anybody. Don't just pick up the phone to that random guy that called you from New York that's trying to fund your business and believe everything he says, okay? You've got to do your research. There's funding companies, marketing companies, SEO companies, website design companies, you name it. There's so many sales companies out there that their whole model is taking advantage of what you don't know. That's their whole sales model, right? They take advantage of what a business owner doesn't know. Because most business owners, they know about their business, right? If you own a mechanic shop, you know how to fix cars. If you know a restaurant, you either know how to cook or you know how to serve or you know how to bartend, right? Hopefully. You don't know about funding and credit card processing and technology and SEO and marketing, right? So you're trusting some other company to take care of you and to put you in the right place, right? But I will tell you this, most companies out there are scumbags. They are focused on their own money. They want to make their money, right? That's all they care about. They don't really care so much about helping you, but there are a select few that do. So one, do your research, make sure you're getting the right information, okay? For those that are here that have smaller companies that are wondering, how do I get to that level, right? Or maybe you have a startup and you're wondering, well, how do I even get started, right? It's just me. I don't know where to go from here. There's multiple options that you can use to get funding, okay? There's, what are they called? Title loan, I wouldn't recommend. There's payday loan, I wouldn't recommend. And then there's three other ways, okay? You need to have one of three things in order to get a decent rate and term on capital to grow your business. One is you either need to have a business with a business bank account that's depositing at least $5,000 a month. Number two, you need a credit score over 620. Or number three, you need assets like real estate. As long as you have one of those three things, you can get funding for your business. We had a guy today. He's like, I've been declined everywhere. Nobody will approve me. I've got a 640 credit score. I know it's terrible. It's not good enough. That's not true, right? So when we go and we search on Google for funding, guess who's on the first two pages of Google? It's the guys that require 700 credit scores, 5 years in business, 100,000 a month in revenue, right? It's not the ones that are going to help you for startups or for small businesses, right? So when you're applying at all these different places and they're declining you one after the next, that's why, right? So you need to go to a company like us that works with over 180 banks and lenders, right? To make sure, one, you go the right route, right? So based on your situation, whether you have credit, you have real estate, you have a business, or maybe it is, you have a paycheck, right? If that's the only thing you have, right? We can figure it out, right? Or if we need to fix your credit, we can do that as well, right? We have credit cleaning companies that we're partnered with that will clean your credit so you can get the funding that you need, right? We all know it takes money to make money, right? But it's spending that money in the right way and having good debt, right? There's bad debt and there's good debt, right? Bad debt is borrowing money to consolidate your bills into one payment when there's auto pay. That doesn't make sense, right? There's borrowing, taking a business loan, a high risk business loan. So you got bad credit, short time in business, low revenue. You don't take a short term business loan to pay off credit cards. It doesn't make sense, right? So we help you figure out the best utilization for the money, right? If it's marketing, we can connect you with the right marketing companies. They're going to take care of you and help you succeed, right? If it's web design or SEO or AI, right? If you don't have AI in your business or you're not planning on having it when you start, you're shit out of luck, right? Like every business that has AI will be okay. Every business that doesn't have AI by the end of this year will get left behind. I guarantee you, mark my words, if you don't have the AI implemented into your business by the end of this year, you're not going to make it through 2026. And you can write this down. I said it on this day. I guarantee you, you will not make it through next year. Right? AI is confusing and it's scary and there's a lot of shit out there, but it's absolutely necessary and it's only going to make your life and your business easier and more profitable. Those that are here today, are there any specific questions that you guys were hoping to get answered today by coming here? Because that's what I want to focus on the next, 20, 30 minutes or however long you guys want to hear me talk, is answering questions, which Sean being probably one of the most badass business owners that I know, who's built some very big businesses, can help you with all the stuff that I don't know. Because I don't pretend to know everything, right? I'm not a billionaire, right? I don't know everything yet, but I've learned a lot, right? And I've done a lot, right? So your business, tell me about your business.
So I have a clothing brand.
Clothing brand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also have a barbershop.
Okay.
Next to my clothing store. So basically, I think my question is like, I feel like I met a cat in Baltimore.
Yep, we all do. We all get to that point where we feel like we've reached our peak, right? There's not enough people. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get more people. Dude, you're in Baltimore City.
Like I was telling him, I do have the recognition. I was named Baltimore's Black Owned Brand 2024, 23.
Great. So you got the PR,
So
you got the recognition,
I have
right?
the recognition. I have the followers on Instagram.
Yep.
I'm giving back to my community. I'm a pillar of my community.
Yep.
But it's just like certain the level that I want to reach.
Right.
I just feel like my environment is just
100%. And it doesn't always mean that so you might be in the right vehicle, but maybe it just needs to go way bigger than where you're at, right? So like, how do you scale a barber shop? More locations, more barbers, right? In more areas. How do you scale a clothing brand? You really got to get known, right? So when you say you have, social media presence, right? You've got the followers. Are we talking millions of followers?
60,000.
60,000, right? That's good. That's good. 60,000 is good, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's not life changing, right? So like, we got to figure out a way. One, you want to get with a coach that's going to help you go viral. Like I'm talking millions and millions and on a regular basis, right? So social media is a great way to scale and probably the best way to scale a clothing brand. Are you selling on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram?
No.
Okay. I would start there with the clothing brand. With the barbershop, if you can't fit in any more people into your store, if you're booked up all day, every day, you have reached the cap. So how do you expand from that? You need another location or a bigger location, right? That's the only way, right? Are you at a point where you're full all day, every day?
All my chairs are filled.
Okay. So your chair. So is that the business model? You make money from the barbers that rent the chair?
Correct.
Okay. So then you need more chairs.
More chairs, and also I would say like you know, usually when you go to the barbershop, you might get spray for washing, you might get oil in your hair.
Yep.
Like more so like products.
Yeah.
Products. So it's just like
Add-ons.
I get that 1,000%, but my thing is like I always say if I could invest in myself for the seasons, I feel like I wouldn't be at that. So it's like sometimes I play catch up.
Yep.
And then sometimes it's like, do I want to order this amount? And now, right now, it's being August,
Yep.
it's about to get cold.
Yep.
Am I really going to sell what I order now? And it's going to take, so it's just like strategically.
100%. 100%, dude. Like the thing is with when you're investing in yourself, right? So you're not taking outside capital. Have you taken any outside capital ever? One, I would maybe put a plan together, and then think about taking outside capital because you have a business bank account, you can get money, but
A lot of
have a plan for that money, right? So whether it's opening another location so you have more chairs, right? Whether it's a marketing plan for selling your clothing on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all that. Have a plan together. We can get you money and then keep getting you more money and more money until a point where you don't need to sell, because that's what I've done, dude. The first 7 years in business, bro, it was every penny that I made back into the business. I haven't bought myself anything in God knows how long, right? Like, yeah, I go on vacations here and there. I haven't gone on vacation in like a year, but like, I don't buy cars. I lease them. I don't, buy expensive suits, right? I don't, I'm not buying a condo at the beach and a big house on the hill. Like, I'm not doing any of that, right? Because it's going back into my business. But it gets to a point where, like you said, you reach a cap and there's only so much you can do with your own money, right? Yeah. Without taking food off your kid's plate, right? So you're at that you're at that level,
correct,
right? You're at that point where you need to take outside capital, and there's ways to do it where it's not a risk. You can get credit cards, right? You can do credit card stacking. We got a guy the other day, $400,000 to buy a really big franchise, and if it goes to shit, oh well. He has bad credit.
For a couple years.
You know what I mean? He's got bad credit for a couple of years. They can't take his house. They can't take his kids. They can't, you know what I mean? It's like, whatever, right? Sometimes you just got to get to a point where you take that leap of faith. Like, you've already done really well. If you reach the cap and you've got your barbershop full and you're making money, you're making a profit, you already know you can do it, right? So now you just got to believe in yourself a little bit more to get some good debt, right? Because again, you can only,